were on CNN over this weekend on Farid Zakaria's show, said he does not see an end to this crisis unless Israel wakes up and decides that we have finished our work, so we are stopping. Because Israel insists that they have cause to continue with the conflict to the extent that they believe they have not uprooted all elements of Hamas. And so it seems they are interested in seeing through to a point where they are now convinced and happy that they have uprooted Hamas, forgetting the army of new, emerging, radicalized people, pained, angered, triggered by what is happening. Nobody wins in war situations. Nobody wins. And the loss will be colossal from both sides, because the peace that Israel seeks for itself through the violent means that have persisted over the years, I'm not sure is a peace they will secure anytime soon, even after they decide they have finished the work. Because the images that have come from these areas are images that imprint on the minds of people who have either been directly or indirectly, affected by the conflict. We are talking millions of people across the world, So sometimes you just wonder what it is we want. I mean, in all conflict situations, because no conflict is unresolvable. No conflict should be unresolvable. As my big sister said, there are people who started this fight in Israel. They are no longer there. This Palestinian-Israeli war has been there for how many decades? There are people who were at the forefront. They are dead and gone. So if parties are unwilling to, commit to a truce and to negotiate and come to a middle ground where we all get a bit of what we want, because that's what conflict resolution is about. You can't get everything you want. I can't get everything I want. So unless our leaders are willing to come to a table where we all concede something and deny ourselves of something, this is what we're going. Look, new generations of young people within these regions living in fear, because they always say that if you say your mother won't sleep, even you too, you won't sleep. So this is the matter. And I think that this particular state is the way to go. So unless we grant the people of Palestine their autonomy and their land, so you can also live in your land under your own sovereignty and autonomy, where is the solution? Continuous war and destruction, where you yourself are not immune to the pain. And I'm saying that so many people have since been further radicalized by this episode over the past 2 or so years. So, Palestine and Israel will look so far away from us, but the consequences of the continuous war will be felt across sub-Saharan Africa and even within our own borders. These reports we have heard about incursions of terrorists into our borders, because you are growing a new army of radicalized people if you fail to give peace a chance. So we need to all speak up and ensure that there is a resolution to this matter. Otherwise, insecurity anywhere on the globe will be insecurity everywhere else.
I want to find out. I think it was just a few days ago that the U.S. came out threatening Israel that they were going to withdraw their assistance. You know, they have been providing the armory and ammunition for this war. They are going to withdraw their assistance if Israel continues to disallow aid from reaching, you know, persons in Gaza. So in one breath, they are the fuel for this war, and then you come back to say that, look, give these people food to eat so that you can continue to kill them. I mean, what sense does this make? So in as much as, and this question is on the point of the two feuding parties coming to, you know, the table and then agreeing to disagree or disagreeing to agree. What if those backing Israel, we have the likes of the United States of America, which is a big force to, you know, to reckon with. If they decide that they are going to entirely withdraw from this, then it means that the war comes to an end. But in this case, they are being the fool. So in as much as we are advising Israel to stop this and to stop that and to stop this and to stop that, they have a powerful force backing them, which spurs them on to continue to do what they do. How then do we take the United States away from this particular issue? Shamima.
Well, global geopolitics does not lend itself to easy understandings and, you know, unpackings. Some of these relations go way back, and America has always touted Israel as its, you know, ally. So Israel will continue to be America's ally. So what it means is that when things become excessive, they would make some of these statements, because I think that even Israel has shown America and its allies that to the extent that they are not agreed on their approach to resolving their internal matter, they will not be easily amenable to what, you know, expectations they may have of them. And at the end of the day, it's America's call to decide what they want to do. It's truly America's call, because Israel has proven over and over again their intransigent position on the matter of the Gaza conflict. And so if it is at complete variance with the American direction and approach, they would have taken a decisive action. So it's obvious that whatever is the foundation of the conflict and the approach of the current, you know, administration, isn't Netanyahu's administration, yes. It's not in complete variance, it's not at variance with perhaps what America looks for. So as you have said, it's a humanitarian crisis that we are currently all witnessing. The hunger, the displacement of whole populations and families, and, you know, the exportation of greater problems to neighboring countries. I'm saying that we have not even seen the end yet about the effects of this conflict, what the effect of this conflict will mean into the nearest future. We haven't even begun to see the effects yet. Let's hope that somehow we will be able to witness, you know, a culmination of peace within our lifetime, you know, so that people will begin the very long, arduous journey of healing. Because without healing, without a certain sense of forgiveness, there ain't going to be no peace within that region for the foreseeable future. There ain't going to be. So if you ask me whether America is complicit or not, I think that it's not for me to say. America, when America wants to do something, we have seen America able to show a very strong, you know, showing of hands. So to the extent that Israel continues to parry its America's own call on them, suggests that allies are allies. So I really don't know what I can tell America from this chair that will shift their position on any matter, you know. So I think they're also doing what they think is best for them to do in the given circumstances. Auntie Rodolin, I don't know what you have to add to that.
Auntie Rodolin.
No, I think that Israel would not have been able to achieve what it has achieved but for the assistance given to it by its allies, especially the US. And it's rather unfortunate that the US seems to be backing and Israel is not, because Israel is not listening. Even when they went and attacked or bombed UN peacekeeping areas, still, exactly, including the death of journalists, even bombing hospitals and refugee centers, the world looked on, and the US could only talk, and Israel refused to listen. The UN has come out with so many resolutions, and Israel has not obeyed one. So it just comes to tell you that Israel is not ready. They are all out. I think their main target is probably to occupy a chunk of the Middle East. But the disheartening thing is that we are not seeing much support from the other Arab countries. Very few Arab countries are coming to the aid of Palestine. We're looking at Saudi Arabia, we're looking at the UAE, we're looking at Qatar, Kuwait, and we are asking, what are they doing to support the cause of Palestine? Because whatever happens, Palestine must be free. Palestine must have their own state. And it is important that all of us speak up and speak out and let the world hear more about what exactly is happening in Palestine. We're looking at a lot of media propaganda as well. So you find the media, Western media especially, bringing out all manner of stories that are not true and giving fuel to Israel to attack. I think that it's about time the whole world stood up to Israel and told them the truth. Enough is enough. You can't go around, you know, killing children, old people, babies, bombing unnecessary things and telling lies. Recently I was watching CNN and there was a story about, no, it was Al Jazeera, about them getting to a banker and finding so much money, 400 million gold bars, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing was that it was false. And because of that intelligence reports, they hit a target, only to find that there was nothing there. You know, so all these things just goes to show that Israel is just out to annex the Middle East. And it is being supported by the US. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not able to talk against the American intervention, you know, like the American government, because of so many other things. People just feel like they are the world power, big brother, looking out for everyone. And as for African leaders, they don't even want to talk because of visa restrictions. So it's difficult for us. But I think that as Africans, we should also stand firm and support Palestine. For now, I think that we all just need to keep talking. The world needs to keep at Israel, at least to show some form of humanitarian and, you know, be conscious of the fact that it is dealing with human lives. If you look at a people that came through what we call the Holocaust, you know, what they suffered, and they're doing the same thing to another group of people, then you ask what kind of conscience they have. So it's not the best of times for supporters of Palestine and for the Palestinian people. And now Israel is gone into Lebanon, it's fighting Iran, it's fighting Yemen. it seems to be all over the Middle East, and we must all be careful, because we don't want this to trigger a third world war. The implications will be very dire, especially for African countries. So I think we should all take cognizance of that.
Right, thank you very much. I'll do a few messages, then we proceed to our next topic for conversation. Already I see lots of you sending in messages in relation to Speaker Bagben and the action that he has taken. Rest in peace, Mami Ekuadonko. You didn't add your name and where you sent this message from. This one here says that Pan Africa TV, you appear to only discuss Palestine without you talking about Bawku. Oh, Bawku is actually part of the topics we have tabled for this morning's conversation. Right. Good morning, Bless. I am Kucho, Fulani Chairman and Zongo Youth President in the Ashanti region. Please, I'm always watching your program. Good morning to Hajas Shamima and Auntie Rhoda from the Alan camp and your good self. I wish you Allah's protection and blessings wherever you are. Okay, thank you so much, Kucho, for your message. This one here says that if Article 97, Clause 1G and H of the 1992 Constitution are futuristic as the NPP posit, then the article is really of no essence. I'm wondering how the independent candidate or the person who has switched from his party to another ticket will then lose his or her seat if such a person wins the upcoming elections on his or independent candidature or the ticket of the political party to which he or she has switched conditions to. The decision of the Speaker to reject the writ is in the right direction. We must reject any judicial oppression as far as this country is concerned. Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema. Thank you, Daniel, for your message. Musa Batwa says the unrest in Bawku is being fueled by politicians benefiting from the violence, with recent legal actions like the Kumasi Appeal Court overturning a Bolga High Court warrant for Seidu, raising concerns about transparency. The contested installation of a new chief has added to the tension. In response, the Bawku Traditional Council's ban on NPP campaign activities aims to prioritize community peace over political influence is welcoming news. Greetings to Julius Debra and Gabriel Aga. Okay, thank you, Musa Batwa, for your message. Hi, Bless. Good morning to you and your panelists. Thanks for the great work. Tell Shamima to give me her contact. Okay, I'll tell her about that. Sami Boachi says the Speaker of Parliament has demonstrated a clear allegiance to his party's interests by rejecting the writ to serve Parliament, showcasing questionable leadership. This development serves as a valuable lesson for the MPP. It highlights the importance of strategic voting, emphasizing the need to avoid split tickets. The election is crucial for Ghana's future, and prioritizing the MPP-led Dr. Baumia, listed first on the ballot, will safeguard initiatives like the free senior high school and numerous developmental projects. Kudos to Honorable Charles Sechampon, MP for Loak, and Frank Asiedu Bekwin, prospective MP for Suwom. All right, thank you so much for your messages. Keep them coming. The number to which you can send them, 055-9919-802, 055-9919-802. Proceed to our third topic for conversation. Has got to do with the four declared vacant seats.
Conflict matters, then we'll clear them.
Oh,
we'll come to that later.
Okay.
Because we just spoke about conflict.
Okay, so I think that makes sense. So we briefly talk about Bawku. So yesterday I made a comment here on the show regarding the same issue. I was in the northeast region, I think somewhere, I guess, for former President Mohammed's campaign, right. And we were in Bawku, and the former president made a statement. I found it very interesting. I found it interesting because perhaps I didn't know the whole, the whole genesis of this Bawku conflict. And he said that whenever the NDC was in power, there appeared to be peace in Bawku, or there was peace in Bawku whenever the NDC was in power. However, when power changes hands to the NPP, then there's conflict again. So it brings me to the question: is the Bawku conflict a political? Is it laden with politics? Does it have political elements in there? Because I personally, from where I sit, I do not know. I've lived in this country for a little over 3 decades, and so I wake up and then every day it's Bawku here, Bawku there, Bawku here, Bawku there. What exactly is the problem, and how do we resolve this, Shamima?
You and I can never conflict on this set. And as sad as it is, there are so many sensitive issues to this matter that I often want to stay away from commenting on the specific issues that has, created this decades-old conflict that has created the stalling of development in these conflict areas, that has also seen the erosion of growth, okay, in these areas, that has also witnessed a lot of state resources, just to keep the peace in Bawku, just to keep the peace, at the expense of, development and what have you. It's sad that 40 days to this election, this move was taken that has obviously now degenerated into renewed clashes, as we have witnessed and we are seeing even indications of a declaration of war. What I can just say as a citizen of Ghana is to plead for cool heads to prevail whilst investigations go into just what has happened to trigger these renewed clashes. The reports have been made to us to suggest that it may have been the coming back of a chief and named, the title given to that particular chief as a Bawku Naba, whereas the Kusasis also have Bawku Naba, which has led to this renewed clashes. How did it happen? You spoke about whether, yes, I think that the Bawku situation has become more political than it has become really about chieftaincy and who leads should be chief of Bawku or not. I think the political actions haven't quite also helped us to arrive at a peaceful consensus decision that will be workable to allow the women and the children of Bawku and its surrounding areas to breathe, to live in safety, to go to school, and to become whatever they are destined to become. So my brief comment on this matter, in order not to, stray into areas that I have no deep knowledge about, is that we have 40 days to a major election. Please allow for a certain semblance of peace so we can navigate this process so that the people of Bawku will not become disenfranchised ahead of the December polls, so that political actors will also not use the situation to their advantage in trying to maybe exercise a certain authority over the area and by extension depriving, their political opponents of either campaigning or securing, their mandate from those areas. So we must really open our eyes to why this has happened at this time and ask questions of those who are in the current leadership. And that is Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia. Under your watch, why are we seeing these recurrence? Because if negotiations have been ongoing, if conversations are going, peace talks are ongoing, what has triggered this recurrence of violence? What is your complicity or not in this situation? And how will you quickly redeem yourself by ensuring that there is peace? Now there's curfew, and there's also talks of declaring a state of emergency. And you know what that means? A state of emergency gives power, gives the government of the day more enhanced powers. And a government that today we are being told is not trusted by the people of Ghana by the Afrobarometer report. The Office of the Presidency, the Electoral Commission have all suffered huge erosion in trust by the latest round 10 Afrobarometer surveys. The police are at the top. Police, EC, the Office of the President, Parliament. This is not the country we want to build. There is growing mistrust in all our institutions. Our accountability institutions, security institutions, electoral institutions, government institutions. To the extent that the army is now the most trusted. What does it even tell you? Again, if you go back a bit to the earlier round 9 surveys, they did say that even more Ghanaians are thinking that a military regime is better. And now look at it. Ghanaians trust the army. Why do they trust the army? They trust the army because they feel that the army is less susceptible to all of these other, influence from power. So we don't want that. We have done this democracy for a while now. We're in the 4th Republican dispensation. We've done 32 years. We've done multiple elections. This is really not the time, 40 days to an election, for some parts of the country to be completely cut off and to give governments that haven't shown that when you give them power, they use the power to the best interest of the nation, to give them enhanced powers, to perpetuate what? A certain agenda? What agenda is at hand here? Very weird happenings under the Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. Eroding the gains of our democracy, threatening to destabilize this country all over again, all for the want of power. Please, let's not use politics to destabilize this nation. Politics and democracy is supposed to help us solve these problems. And if we were doing the right things by now, we should have had a workable solution with this Bawku matter and all of its surrounding areas. Right now, all the MPs have suspended their campaigns, both NDC and NPP. They've suspended their campaigns. There are real costs to some of these actions, sometimes bordering on the selfish. I'm saying that whatever you think the right thing was to be done could have been managed in a way that we weather this storm. There's a storm ahead of us, a major election, seriously contested and fought for election. So we shouldn't be engaging in any actions or inactions or any, maneuverings that will see, that has the potential of creating unnecessary chaos. Just so you ride on the back of that to, enhance your powers to execute whatever parochial interest you may be, looking to adopt ahead of this election. The NPP is losing this election. They know that. They know that they have actually lost the social license to govern this nation. They've lost it. What they're doing now, as I was driving here, a proliferation of billboards and banners and pictures. It seems they don't learn. Because, and with placards and images of Dr. Bawumia, and I'm saying that a government in power should not be fighting for optics and visibility. Your visibility should be in our pockets. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your visibility should be that when we actually put our hands in our pocket, there's money in, as you promised. You shouldn't be bombarding us with images. You told us that we want to see you. You told us when you were campaigning years ago against the NDC that you were seeing NDC billboards all over the place. So you don't learn. We thought you had superior powers. When a government is losing power, this is what they do.